Hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to quickly start. I'm just going to quickly share this out. I know I'm all fingers and thumbs tonight, folks. Do apologise for this. While I'm sharing out, how is everyone and how's everybody's week been?
Busy.
Well, you've been busy, Way. Come on.
Very. Laid a new kitchen floor. Did the approach to Spookanori Castle with my ghost logo.
Yeah, looks nice.
And then after I finished doing the kitchen, I went off and looked at a pagoda that was being given away for nothing. I've just got to dismantle it and get it back to the house and then reassemble it back in the back garden once I've finished the back garden.
That'd be cool.
So it's all crazy at the moment.
How is young Joe?
I'm doing good.
Goody. Gumdrops, how is young Lynn?
Oh, young Lynn's been busy today. Been busy. I've done the shopping. I've done the gardening. Yeah, I've made new fertilizer out of yeast. I've done all that. I've been planting garlic. I've been
you've been really busy.
Yeah.
So tonight, folks, this was the one that everybody wanted, and it's now here. I just want to put out a big disclaimer to say that strong viewers' discretion advised. There's no, when we're doing this tonight, we're being really respectful. There's nothing to say we're saying anything bad against the Vatican. We're just talking or religion. We're not dissing religion or the Vatican in any way. We're just here simply doing the conspiracies of the Vatican. So who wants to start first?
Can I start? Right. Because when
I'll tell you what. I'll move you up there tonight.
Right, I've been absolutely well into this, right, and I've been reading up on it, and I cannot believe some of the information I actually got about the Vatican, the vaults down there. 53 miles of shelving. Unbelievable. 53 miles. You can't think of it, can you? 53 miles. And 35,000 volumes of catalogues. Over 12 centuries of documents of European history. You'd never get through it, would you? You would never be able to get through it all.
The one I wonder if that's tying in with what my research has done, because I've done the researches about the mysteries of the secret library. The Vatican Library is one of the oldest and the most prestigious libraries in the world. It was founded in the 15th century by Pope Nicholas V. The V is 5 into it in Latin, and the fifth. So there is an extensive collections of manuscripts in there. They've got rare books, maps, paintings, artwork, which you wouldn't believe. Many which is only available to a certain amount of people. And that's accredited scholars and researchers. Which everybody wants to know what's in the Vatican, especially the library. It's sparked a lot of speculation that the library might hold secrets, that texts, manuscripts that could change how people look at religion. Many suspect that these could unveil aspects of the church history, startling insights into the nature of faith, which if people found out, how would it change how they feel? Others suggest that cryptic texts. I've got it, baby. I said it without a problem. Texas writings considered an inconvenience by the office. The church might be safeguarding it. It could also contain the documents, alterated narratives of Jesus, the origins of Christianity, theological controversies that could be causing. There might be a lot that comes out the Vatican. Other believes that the library might hide hidden prophecies, revelations of future events, keys to understanding mysterious aspects of the universe. There's quite a lot when I did the research in the Vatican. It was like some of them, my eyes were widening, because it's almost like I want to go to the library and I want to see exactly, read the manuscripts. It was really, really interesting stuff. I'll quickly go into the chat. Hey Emma, how you doing? Hey Sarah Louise, welcome to, and hey Laura, how you doing, love? So, what about Dels?
Sorry, say that again.
What about Dels's thoughts on that?
Oh.
What, on the actual vaults themselves?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things down there that we're not being told.
Yes.
Simply because over the years there's been a lot of obviously things going on that people have disagreed with, or have sat there and gone, hang on a minute, this isn't right, that doesn't make sense. And 9 times out of 10, the Vatican has had something to do with it. But the reason why they are called the Vatican's secret archives is not because they're not telling people that they're a secret. The actual word secret comes from a misunderstanding of the Latin word secretum, or private.
Yes, it is.
So it doesn't necessarily mean they're keeping something from us. It's just their private stuff. But some of the biggest conspiracies are that the fact they've got a lot of the Nazi gold and art that was taken during World War II.
Yeah.
And that one I've actually looked into myself, and that is, for me, probably one of the biggest conspiracy theories that I could find that actually appealed to me. And that's mainly because I love anything to do with World War II.
Yeah.
But at the end of World War II, when it appeared Germany were going to lose regardless, a lot of the leading generals were removed from Berlin, and they were taken through various routes. Some were headed north towards Norway, some headed out towards Russia, and then down south, and some went through France into Spain. And they were taken to Roman Catholic churches or monasteries. And a lot of them were given new identities, and in some cases they were given plastic reconstructive surgery to look different. And they were then taken down to the Canary Islands, where submarines were waiting for them, and they were taken then down to South America. Now, one of the submarines was scuppered in South America, and the people that obviously used the submarine went off into South America, into various places, Brazil, Argentina, Peru, because they were sympathetic towards the Nazis.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of houses to this day that are still owned by descendants of those high-ranking officers. And you can actually still see some of the swastika motifs on the gates at some of the houses. So it sort of fueled the conspiracy theory, but I think it's now gone away from being a conspiracy theory now and become more fact.
Yeah.
Simply because the likes of these generals, they followed the path of where they'd all gone, and they then discovered that it was the Catholic Church that helped move those men to South America.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, because obviously when you look at the archives, although everybody's now classed them as a secret archive, there is stuff in there that they don't want us to see or know. It's like the Dead Sea Scrolls that went to make up the Bible. You know, the Bible is composed of all these different books from different people.
Yeah, they are.
But some of the biggest books that would have contradicted the teachings, or the modern day teachings, would cause uproar. The Book of Enoch and the Book of Magdalene, or the Book of Mary. You know, those two books on their own would cause so much stir within the faith that they kept it out. And then James I comes along, and he includes witches into the Bible.
Yeah.
He was able to, you know, he was allowed to alter the Bible. But if these scriptures were supposed to be true, you can't alter truth. If you do, you're turning it into a fairy story, or you know,
the agenda.
Yeah. So you're altering things. So what better way to deal with that is just to remove it completely and hide it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
yeah.
I'll quickly run into comments. Hey William, hey Noreen, hey Tracy. Emma says she finds it fascinating. Hey Andy, how's it going? Oh, hello Vaughn. And Emma says, really well. It really is a fascinating subject. I found one, right, that actually ties well into your show, because, you know, sometimes we do murder things, right? So there was one that Mr. Survey, I always notice, I just find time. So the conspiracy, Pope John Paul I, who was only the Pope for 33 days.
Yeah.
That's another one that you sort of raise your eyebrows about, because he was a very, very popular Pope. And you kind of ask yourself, why would a man like himself, who was so friendly, he was actually known as the Smiling Pope, and everybody really liked him because he was always dead smiley. And I found something that kind of tied in with it, right? So this Pope, John Paul I, wanted to make a very big difference. And as everybody knows, the Vatican has a bank and has quite a lot in it, shall we say. But they've lost a lot of money at the same time. So obviously, Pope John Paul I was looking into all this, and I think if he made the changes, he wanted to make quite a lot of changes, I think, that would, you know how things can go in the world when people are charged. Either people love stuff or people don't. So it would be like this Pope would want to make a difference. So one of the conspiracies was the fact that he stumbled across, obviously, dodgy dealings in the Vatican money that he was going to reveal. So they think, obviously, he's been bumped off to keep him silent. So what tied it in for me was that the fact that the Vatican made money for the Holocaust. And I did a wee bit of research in that. And as people know, the other conspiracy that ties in with this was that the fact that they helped Nazi war criminals escape the Allied forces. A Harvard researcher wrote a book that shows travel documents pointing to the Vatican having helped the Nazis travel to these countries.
We've
Because
already done that.
Oh, did you? I knew there was
When you
right,
went off,
so,
I was talking about that.
right, so I'm not going to repeat it, right? But anyway, the Vatican. Did you talk about the Vatican making money for the Holocaust?
No, we didn't cover that bit. It was more
Right.
about the actual the Catholic Church allowing or helping high-ranking German officers get to South America.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll carry on with the Holocaust, right? So in addition to what Wayne was saying, obviously about people, the Nazis escaping, the Vatican was also involved in helping the Nazi loot art, golf, and other property belonging to Jewish families. An American journalist says that the financial advisor for the Vatican is believed to have been one of the Nazi spies. Apparently, that's a conspiracy. He believed to have instituted a horrible scheme that allowed the Vatican to invest money in Italian insurance companies that kept the assets from the life insurance plans of the murdered Jewish families. Since the Vatican was an investor and not a direct insurer, they did not need to return any of the money made using the scheme. And I'm just wondering how far I think this guy, quite personally, now, I know we're talking about thingy, but it kind of crosses into another conspiracy theory. But it's kind of, in a way, when you look at Princess Diana, I know it's hard not to compare the two, but when somebody gets so close to the bone on something, and you just think, like, there was a guy who wrote a book that's David Yellop, his name is, and the book is called, because when obviously I was doing the research on this Pope, the conspiracy, obviously the man who died after 33 days being in Pope, that this guy, David Yellop, had wrote a book in God's name, and it was writing about Pope John Paul I's murder, the conspiracy behind it, and all the evidence. And the Vatican's done nothing but try and ruin that man because he spoke out and because he's done the thing where they're trying to say that he's talking rubbish, this is absolutely absurd, book and everything. But when you actually read it, it actually makes you think, wait, there is something really, really dodgy here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he was only...
Yeah, it makes you wonder all that gold they've got.
Yep.
What are they doing with it? They're just keeping it there. They've got that much money coming in from everywhere. They can't really spend it, can they?
But then you look at the scandal, because the Vatican Bank was also known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, the IOR, and it's been in numerous amount of scandals. The most controversial one is dealing with Hitler. Another historian pointed out that the Vatican received church tax from Hitler every year. A substantial amount of money was paid to the IOR so that it can't be tracked by Western banks. The IOR was used to store billions of dollars, the details of which have never actually been publicly revealed.
Wow. Unbelievable.
It really is. Hey, Emma says it's shocking. Hey, my darling.
That sounds like money laundering.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
But does it really surprise you guys for the Vatican? Really? And this is, please, again, folks, please don't think that we are digging at religion or the Vatican. We're just talking theories and conspiracies, guys. And please feel free to put your comments and opinions and theories in the chat, because I would love to hear them, in all honesty.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you think about it, religion is the biggest business in the world. The Bible is the biggest selling book in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's a fact.
that creates income for whichever church produces that Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there is a lot of money to be made in a religious text.
Yeah, there is.
Oh God, yeah.
So they obviously get a cut of the proceeds of every Catholic Bible that is sold.
Yep.
Plus, then they've got the tourism, because obviously tourism is a big thing. You go over to the Vatican City and you can do the tour around the place. That also makes the money.
Yep.
But also at the same time, Switzerland are making money because of the Swiss Guard, who are the defenders of the Vatican City. So Switzerland are making money out of it, and Switzerland have always been neutral, and yet they've got their army defending the Vatican City.
Wow.
Doesn't sound neutral to me.
It doesn't, does it really? But one thing I have found quite interesting, that probably another good conspiracy theory, and it goes back to the Knights Templar.
Love the Knights Templar.
You stole my thought, because that was going to be my next thought.
Well, I'll beat you to it. Right, as we know, the Knights Templar were the military arm or military order for the Roman Catholic Church. And obviously, over the years, they were then persecuted by the Catholic Church for blasphemous behaviour and heresy during the Crusades. And they were punished for this. But there was a parchment which was the minutes of the trials against the Knights Templar, and it's called the Shinnon parchment. And it's about the size of a dining room table, but for some unknown reason, it disappeared. Now, the Vatican claimed it was an archival mistake, and the parchment was lost for centuries and was only found in a box containing other documents in 2001. But they've now looked into it, and in 2007, they actually made the parchment public, and it actually proved that Pope Clement V actually absolved the group of heresy in 1308. But we've all been told that the Knights Templar were guilty of heresy and blasphemous behaviour during the Crusades, and that was it. But no one actually stated, that I know of, has actually stated that they were actually absolved of any wrongdoing.
Wow. That's
Just
where Friday the 13th comes from, isn't it, Wayne?
Yeah. So I mean, that's been hidden. That has been hidden for 700 years.
Wow. Wow. I love the Knights Templar. Talk about them all night.
But how could something, a box containing documents, disappear for 700 years?
What's up, guys?
Could do it.
It could do. It really could do. I'm going to quickly run in the comments, guys. So we're at Vaughn. I visited the Vatican. I personally believe there is a lot of hidden things behind all gold in the grand buildings. Oh, there's that baldy bastard coming into the chat. It's going to annoy me. Evening, folks. Sorry I'm late. I know, you're 25 minutes late. Sarah Louise says, sounds like the biggest crime syndicate in the world. See, when I did the research, I don't know personally about the other guys, but when I personally did the research on it, like from my side of things, I found like my jaw dropped at some of the things I was actually reading, because it was like, oh my God, this is the building, this is what was it I actually wrote down, the way it was described, the Vatican. The Vatican represents the spiritual centre of Catholicism, a powerful religious entity that has shaped the history of humanity. And I thought to myself, by the time that I finished researching it, I thought, and oh God, strike me down. I don't even know how to word it. I'm not going to get Lois style, because Lois style would get the show chopped. But I just couldn't believe how I seen the Vatican very differently. Put it that way. I didn't see, like, I seen it as this holy place that, oh no, that there can't be half the stuff that's going on. And then I actually did my research, and I kind of went, oh well, hey, hold on a minute, there is a different side to this. But it's one of those ones. Hi, Joe. Joe, oh my God, you look 10 years younger. Hey, Kate.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that first. Holy cow. Yeah. Holy cow. That is a reveal for me.
Scott's just talking to Kate. William, I love William, right? Because William he's his comments, he's really, really great. And know what I also like about William? Because he puts opinionated comment, and I've never seen anybody else do that. So it's really, really good. So he says, opinionated comment. So many conspiracies going round now that some people will believe anything you tell them. I'm not saying any of it isn't true, but you need facts to back it up. The Nazis were known for their conspiracy too and their propaganda. What do you feel? What do you think, guys?
It's a really interesting question.
It really, really is. Oh,
yeah,
see this tablet?
With regards to the Nazis linked to the Catholic Church, that is fact. That they were removed from Berlin, and they used the Catholic Church as way stations to stop at and have their identities changed. They actually did find that did actually happen. But it's and this is the ongoing issue. Is something that is hidden, difficult to get into, or impossible to get into. People will make up whatever they want regards to that location. It's the same with Area 51.
Yeah.
You know, unless they turn around and open the doors and say, come on in and see what we've got, just at random, all it will ever be is speculation. You've got the whistleblowers that will stand there and say, well, I worked here and I saw this. But again, it's like William says, you know, it's conspiracy theories, and we're expected to believe what people say. But the problem is, it doesn't help when the church is so secretive about the vaults. And yes, they've got 54 miles worth of shelving full of different bits and bobs, but there is a section of that vault that no one still to this day is allowed to go into.
Wow.
And I think, see, if you didn't have things like this, right? And I know people are going to think that I'm nuts, but hey, don't tell everybody. But the thing about it is this, see, if you didn't have things like this, we would be bored, in all honesty, because it would be like, obviously, that I get people, it's the heighten. It's almost like the game of Chinese whispers. It's almost like I could tell Wayne something, Wayne would tell Lynn something, but add his bit on. Lynn would tell Nick, but add her bit on. Nick would tell Joe, and add his bit on, and then Joe would come back to me with this big long spiel, and I'm like, oh wow. I think it's great having things like this because it gets the mind going. It gets in the mind of, it's the same when people, right, argue about the shape of the earth. I couldn't say, to be honest, I always laugh. How do we know it's flat? How would you know if it's a globe? See, at the end of the day, you could get to the end of this life and discover it was a triangle or a square or a rectangle. It's things like that, and I just love talking about conspiracies. And why I picked this one is, yeah, it's the one that makes people probably sit on the edge of the seat, but it's a good one because when you think about it, there is so many secrets. Is it ever going to be revealed in our lifetime? No. Is it going to be revealed in my son's lifetime? No.
No. Okay.
It's going to be, it might never ever be revealed. But then what happens if, right, and I'm just going to throw it right out there, I'm going to play devil's advocate. What if there's nothing? What if the big hype's for nothing? There's nothing there. Area 51, what if there's nothing there and it's just a big, it's a big hype for nothing? And we've all been getting ourselves excited for what? For nothing? You've got to think that way, but it's the good, but the big question mark gets the mind going. I believe that. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, it's like I said, anything with an air of mystery to it is going to create conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
If the Pope was to stand up and say, look, I will be openly honest with you, there is stuff down there, there is this, there is that, and there is these things, then all those conspiracy theories will then go out the window. They'll all be proved to be true or false, but then there will be something else that will replace them.
Yeah.
It's like paranormal. It's never ending. It's never going to end. Conspiracy theories are going to be the same. People are always going to have their opinions and they're always going to have their theories. Are we ever going to find out if our theories are right or wrong? No, we're never going to find out, but it's good. It's good to have these conversations where it's dead calm and people are willing to share their theories, and it's great to have the conversations like William. I love when William chimes in because he challenges, and that makes my brain go do.
Yeah.
And think so. I love these discussions, and do you know what? The best way to do it is through a podcast. Have these discussions, push their boundaries.
Yes, it's true. See, I mean, if we never had anything like this, we wouldn't be talking about these. We won't be pushing the boundaries. We'd be sat around watching what they're spewing out on the telly. Mind you, I don't watch telly, but that's what you do. You sit there and you watch, and people believe everything that's getting spewed out on that television, what they're being told.
Yep.
So this is a good way of opening up, because some people just need that little push just to be able to come out with what they've got ticking away in their head.
Definitely. What about you, Nick and Joe? What's your thoughts?
Hold on 1 second here.
Sorry.
It's all right, love.
I was a bit distracted.
It's all right. I'll tell you what, I'll do the comments while you have a wee think. Hey, Chris. Hey, Laura. That's why we have Friday the 13th, Scott said. Oh, Pickle Tom! Woo! That's my bit beside, but don't tell nobody. Listen, Nick is not your noble brother. This is a very serious show tonight, Scott, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be very polite to you. Oh my God, Joe.
Yeah, I know, right?
He says the big block capital letters. Vaughn says a lot has been written about the papacy did not want the Templars because they were becoming so big in their own right, which is true. Scott says, I'm late because I was air frying the neighbour's cat. So that's the last time we'll bust my paddling pool. Chris says, look for the key and you will see something interesting. Look at the aerial photograph of the Vatican.
Oh,
Kate says, frightening thing is, Scott, you might. Well, that's very true. I agree with Kate there. Vaughn says, when did you sneak in? Right, I'm just going to. I'm just going to miss a lot of talk. Hiya, Charles. Scott says it's definitely an idea, and the washing machine was something else. Emma says it's a lot to look at, to be honest. Kate says Scott's a dark horse, Laura. Not guilty. Oh, I know, Kate. Sorry, guys, I'm just quickly stripping through. William says the Nazis even had a minister of propaganda and conspiracy in the WW. Joseph Goebbels. I'm probably not saying that right. Hitler wasn't a Satanist either, as some people suggested. He was actually a devoted Catholic.
It was him that was the occultist.
Tom Hanks, find out the truth.
So we need Tom's Da Vinci Code. Kate says, where's Ben Winfield at? He's been at the library. He's a legend. I know, I was wondering where Ben was myself. He says you and I should chat later. I'm no in. Emma says it'll never be revealed. Laura says, but that isn't exactly what the Bible and the Catholic Bible is. A game of Chinese whispers. One person takes one thing as hearsay, another questions that hearsay, then puts it on there on context on the hearsay. That's so true. Chris, I don't know what the emojis are, darling, because they're not coming up. The Nazis were very good at... I hope you're no swearing and that's what they're covering out. The Nazis were very good at making things up, but there's proof out there that the Nazis did get up to a lot of strange things, especially on the SS and how they love the satanic occult. Yeah. Scott says, indeed, I so beware. Tom says, Nick's showing off his legs again. That man's always showing his legs off.
Summer.
Hey, I do. Yeah, darling, I remember you very well. Welcome to the show. Kate says, Joe looks more handsome, Johnny Depp. You're handsomer than Johnny Depp. Of course, Kate, I'm going to mention you. So, do you know what, guys? I'm going to take a drink. Somebody else take over because the comments have got me speechless. Well,
I could tell.
I have got one conspiracy, but I'll leave it till the end.
By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, another guest decided to show up right here.
Oh, Wayne, why do you keep doing this to me? Why do you always do this to me?
Well, it's like no, because like you've done your research, and I've been busy doing DIY, so I haven't had a chance to do research. So if you mention it, then I can go, oh, well, I need to mention it now.
Oh, Jesus.
Whereas if you don't mention it, I can keep it as a surprise.
See, I like this. It's like the EastEnders. It's not even that.
and it's quite a good one as well.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah.
I was reading about the guy that done all the exorcists there. Exorcisms.
Oh, the 100,000 plus exorcisms. The chief exorcist.
Yeah. Yeah, what was his name now? There we go.
Yeah, I know.
Father Gabriel Amorth.
I can't remember the name either for some reason.
Yeah, I got it wrote down here. I thought it was amazing.
Father Gabriel Amorth.
Yes.
Yep.
We're talking about the conspiracies of the Vatican, honey. And Vaughn says there's also unmentionable that there's also unmentionable that happens behind the scenes, which is well known. Sorry, guys, my throat is starting to go. Stop this throat. Get that drink done.
There was orgies. They had a lot of orgies there, didn't they?
Oh my God, Glenn.
Well, it did. I'm sorry, well, it did.
Wow.
Well, I suppose when you think about it, if you go right back to Roman times, they were well known for their orgies.
Oh yes, they were. However, about it. Oh, it's true.
So,
do you want me to talk about it?
No, it's fine. Carry on with your orgies.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
don't
making-
like carry on with your orgies.
We can't.
Carry on
We're,
with
we're making Nick blush.
We're having that. Come off it.
You're making my cabinet blush too.
See,
Don't
See,
believe the word it says.
so guys, right? So let me get this right. So I said serious show the night, trying to be a good girl, really trying, and then Lynn goes pop with the balloon, got the pin for the balloon, and then pop, and then orgies.
Yes. Apparently, one of the popes, he spent a lot of his, the gold on having parties and that, and they would pay for prostitutes and that to come in and service people. So
And do you know what
the rumours say? Yeah. So the rumours say. I'm trying to find out where I wrote this down because I was just got. I don't know what to do.
No, and Tom says not only did he blush, Nick also said, "Do you know this is the time that I wish Tom was here?" All I can think of right now is Tom because he's Rick and Morty, and see if he says that, I can hear him in my head. He's imprinted in my head. Yvonne says not just orgies, a lot worse would be banned if I said it.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably.
please.
No, say it.
Oh, it's all right. Siobhan's went into it. Do you know that priest? Right,
Oh.
I can't speak about that.
Yeah, we can't say that.
I can't speak about that side, honey, because that would be actually enough to get
that's
Jeremy banned. Aye.
Yeah, we don't
So I
wanna-
can't
we don't
talk about
wanna
that.
Yeah.
thing for
No.
that.
I bet you did, Tom.
Actually, type for the morning.
The boy. Tom lives in our head rent free. He's a legend.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah. So, unfortunately, right, guys, what I will say is I'm not going to go into what the Vatican and the churches are getting accused of just now. I can't do that. That's one area that I won't cross. I'm happy to do a show about the conspiracies and that, but when it comes to what's been thrown out about the situation just now, that's one line I can't cross, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the legalities of the subject, as aforementioned, cannot be discussed
No.
simply because of the legality of the whole thing.
No, definitely. It's one of those ones.
So what about this chap, Wayne? Gerrit Ludwig. Do you know about Gerrit Rud? I can't say it now.
Ludwig.
Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig. Yes, I know him very well. No, to be honest, I've never heard of him.
Well, he gained access to the archives. He was allowed in.
Him!
Assumingly, in the 1920s, and he was browsing through documents and texts that didn't make any sense, and they were trying to make out that they'd had aliens there.
Yeah.
But it's never been proven because he was the only one that's found it, and they've never been able to prove whether it was true or not.
Yeah, the problem is that that has been going around for a long time, but they've been storing not only, it's mainly the skulls of extraterrestrials that is the conspiracy.
Right.
That they have skulls of extraterrestrials within the Vatican vaults, but they're also saying now that they not only do they have full skeletons on full bodies, they also have vehicles.
Wow.
Now I'm trying to figure out how on earth they managed to get a vehicle into the Vatican vaults without anybody seeing it.
See, now that is a fabulous talking point now. Now my head's ticking. Right, so, yeah. How many entries are there into
They've
that
got a
building?
teleporter. You know, they teleported it in. Like
See,
Star Trek. They got a secret
the only-
teleporter in the basement. You know,
It's the only possibility. It'll be like, so, I don't know, something like what's it called? The big square. They kick everybody out the square, they close it off, they put barriers up so you can't see in, and then all of a sudden it parts like the Red Sea, and the UFO flies in, and then it closes back up, and then they remove the barriers and let everybody back in again. There we go. Started my own conspiracy theory.
Do you know what? We've got one of our internationals watching us tonight.
Oh, Dimitar.
Hey, hey, Dimitar, hey.
Bulgaria. Yeah. And also, I did
think
see
so.
that. And also, actually make that too. Creole has been watching as well.
Oh, Cruella, hiya, Cruella. But yeah, I really like that one, Wayne, because how else would you? I'm trying to know what Lynn's got me thinking. How the hell would the Vatican manage to get that through its doors?
Yeah.
Well, I've never been to the Vatican. I couldn't tell you what it looks like, but I'm just thinking, like, building wise, shape wise, like how would you get something like that, as Wayne says, through the doors? And then I listen to the way that Wayne did it, and then I'm thinking to myself, you've got something here. You've actually got something. See, that's why we all work together well, because we get each other thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put me head in now, Wayne, because now
you know
I will be really, really looking into this.
there's a lot of ways.
I want maps of the city. I want all the tunnels. I want.
Do you know what? I can see Lynn going to bed tonight and lying there and putting stickers all over her walls about how this thing gets into the Vatican.
Wake up the following morning, there'll be post-it notes everywhere.
Yes.
I've had maps
Hi,
of
Cola.
walls.
I will be. Sorry, Joe, what were you saying, honey?
I'm just saying, you know, if there's a will, there's a way. You know, anything's possible. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they've got, the Vatican's got so much power where they're at, right?
Yeah.
They could keep anything under wraps and get it in there. They could do it under the secret of the darkness at night. You know.
No. Totally agree.
Also,
I'm just quite
power to make sure that everybody's gone from the area so that nobody sees what they're doing.
Yeah.
If they've got 53 miles of shelving, it's not going to be under the Vatican.
Yeah, 53 miles. 53 miles means one shelf 53 miles long, but they're stacked 4 or 5 high. So the actual area itself that it covers may only cover, say, 2 square miles because the shelves are stacked on top of each other. Be like a big warehouse.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And if you say like an Amazon distribution warehouse could have 100 miles worth of shelving for all the different products they have, but the actual site itself may only be half a mile square.
It
just depends on how many layers.
I'm going to quickly run into the comments, guys, because everybody's got me working tonight. By the time I finish this show, I'll have no voice. And Joey Birdie! Siobhan says, what are you allowed to talk about? I'm allowed to talk about anything, but I can't go into the logistics of the accusations that are getting made now.
Yeah.
Tom says, you know what, Mark?
I was gonna say,
please.
because I know what Tom's trying to say. You know what, Morty? You need to stop blushing. I mean, come on, man. It's just I can't do the burps or belches. So
Kate says he was from the future, and yes, I typed that where Rick voice. You're killing me tonight, Chicken Tom. Killing me.
You know what? Here's an idea, Tom. You should say that and then send a voicemail of it, so that way I can play it for everyone to hear.
Oh, he's killing me. Kate says they also have Scott's darkest secrets down there. The Vatican's no big enough for Scott. Tom says they borrowed the telepod from Jeff Goldblum. Hi, Laurie.
That movie.
Laurie says one piece at a time. Underground. Vaughn says hi, Nigel. Hi, Cruella. Kate says they do have a mass tunnel system rumoured to be. Laurie says like the Johnny Cash car. Tom says so kind of off topic. See you. If you look at the background picture between Lois and Wayne, it looks like the top part of Sleestick from the old show Land of the Lost. I'm good. How's you, Nigel? So Kate is hang me. They're talking. That's fine. That's fine. So the night everybody's telling me.
Regards to the alien thing,
Right.
There is also another conspiracy theory connected to that, saying that the archives contain proof that the Pope is conspiring extraterrestrial beings to implant everyone on Earth with computer chips. And there was me thinking it was Bill Gates.
But here's the thing. See, when it comes to, and lucky enough, we're doing UFOs anyway. We're probably going to Top Aliens and Ley Lines tomorrow, but the what is striking to me is things that we speak about, like the Vatican, Area 51, and many other places that we spoke about. The Egyptians, all having alien contact. I think that's all fascinating. Like the Vatican of all places, that you kind of say to yourself, holy God. So thanks, guys. As I said, every day, do you know what, guys? When we do these podcasts, it's amazing what you can pick up off the podcasts that you've never thought about before or you've never heard before. And I'm like quite straightforward, and I'll tell you when I don't know something. I don't sit and bullcrap it on my lives. I just say it as it is. I say like I don't know. But yeah, thanks guys. That has given me a food for thought tonight. Obviously about the how to get the alien spaceship in. Definitely, guys. It has. It's been good. But what my point was, it's the connections to aliens. When you really look at the amount of things that are connected, and you always, somewhere, there's always aliens in the line.
Who is running the Vatican? Who is pulling the strings?
I wouldn't be very surprised.
Exactly, because technically the Pope is supposed to be the one in charge.
Right.
Or is he just the one sat there looking pretty?
Exactly. As we know, there are the powers in the world that are just a facade.
Yeah.
You know, they're actually being controlled by somebody else.
Yes, of course.
Or a different group. And it gets to a stage where their identity is going to be revealed. Something will happen, like an election, or they'll get overthrown, and everything will just take a complete U-turn.
Yeah.
But they'll reappear at some point and start gaining control again, and you think, right, okay, something's not right here, and then it actually starts all over again.
Right.
I totally agree with that one. Totally agree with that
And
one.
And this all goes down to things like all these groups like the Illuminati and things like that. The Illuminati of today is not the same as the Illuminati of a couple of hundred years ago. Completely different. But it doesn't stop the conspiracy theories being pushed out there, like the Freemasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, everybody sees a Freemason symbol on a banknote, and straight away they think, oh, they're the ones that are pulling the strings. They could be, but then they might not be.
Yeah. No, that's
And
true.
that's why we have conspiracy theories.
Yep.
We need them. Kate says, nah, he's just living his best Catholic life. Nobody got
Ain't
time
nobody-
for that. Kate says, I think it's similar to the royal family. They're called the Fun. And then Tom says, based on Nick's shirt, he's giving away free flu vaccines. Let's all go to Nick's.
They gave us free shirts at my job at the store.
So you're promoting the old flu vaccinations. MD living in the Illinois area that wants flu vaccinations, head to Nick's.
Go to my house. Then got like 1 million people lined up.
What about, guys, about the missing books of the Holy Bible? Did the Vatican remove... is that the subject that you were going to save to the end?
No.
Okay, then. Did the Vatican remove 14 books from the Holy Bible? Originated, there was supposed to be 80 books in the Bible when it was translated from Latin to English, published in the King James Version in 1611. These days, however, there's only 66 books contained within the Old and New Testaments. The missing books are known as the Apocrypha, which is in Greek means hidden. These books include Tobit, Tobias, Judith, Esther, the Wisdom of Solomon. Christ. Why, for a dyslexic person, did you start reading these, Lois? Because you're screwed and well screwed. This is why I when I did the research on a lot of the words, I'm not even going to try, but there is a lot of other books that are missing from the Bible. So what's your opinions on that, guys? And thoughts?
They need to be put back in.
Yes.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Because when you go to court, depending on what religion you are, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, so help you Allah, so help you whoever. Okay. The Bible is supposed to be the book that you swear on if you are of Christian faith.
Yes.
But the Bible is incomplete, so why would you swear on the Bible? Because them 14 books have been removed. It's not the entire Bible.
Yeah.
What if there's 14, right? And I'm just going to throw it out there, right? And I would love people's opinion. What if the 14 pages, 14 books were put back in and people read it and it opened their eyes to religion and actually, what if they were to change how people looked at religion, like Christianity?
I think it would change a lot. It would change a lot of people's views and opinions because one book in particular, the Book of Enoch, would cause a bit of a stir because it does involve some strangeness that people would not be able to understand and comprehend.
I'm reading that at the minute, Wayne, getting through it bit by bit. Yeah.
And when you throw that in the fray with the rest of the Bible, it's like looking at a collection of fairy stories, and then after 100 years, throw the ultimate of fairy stories right in the middle of it.
Yep.
And then everybody goes, oh my God. And all the other fairy tales that have been told before it and after it just miraculously disappear because this one story is so controversial it will contradict the rest of the Bible.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, how can Moses, I think it's Moses' great grandfather, I think it is, Enoch, end up being 350 years old?
Thank you.
How does that work in them days? In them days, they were lucky to get past 70. Yet this guy was 350 years old, and he ascended to the heavens in a golden chariot. Never mentioned about dying or anything else. So it would then ask questions.
Yeah, I questioned that when I was a young girl and I used to go to church. I used to have to go to chapel, and I used to have to go to church because of different people in the family. You've got to go here, you've got to go there. And I got in a lot of trouble because I'd be questioning why. When we went through, you know, the Noah's Ark and all that lot, and I used to think, well, how are you going to get all them animals on there? That's impossible.
Yep.
Why? I mean, and why on earth are these people living to such good 1,200 years old, 800 and odd? And I used to question it, and I used to get told off constantly. You know, I'm rude, and I'm asking too many questions. I'm ignorant, and I was pulled down by these so-called people who were the higher people in the church, in the chapel, constantly pulling me back down for asking questions about what they were reading to me because it didn't make sense.
No,
you were being persecuted for asking questions, and they are perfectly reasonable questions to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Nick, what were you going to say, Lovey?
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
I thought you were ready to say something else. That's why as for mine, I was like, all right, here you go. Here's the thing.
No, you're good. No, you're fine. You're fine.
As long as I'm not over talking you, just go, Lois, shut up. I want to talk here.
Everything's good so far.
Good. Joe, be the same. Just tell me to shut up.
Actually, I would. Actually, there is one thing I want to say. I just sent the link.
You're always doing to the end. You're killing me, Nick.
I sent the link for him to tune in. I know he just liked the video. We got a new international connection. A guy by the name of Roy, who he and I have chatted before, and he's been interested in wanting to tune in. Although he's not in the comments, I know he was like, I don't know if he's still watching, but this time he's from Portugal.
Hey Roy, how you doing?
So
here's the thing, right?
Welcome,
honey. Here's the thing, right? This is me being serious now, right? Taking for what Lynn said, right? Why does people get their back up when you question? Now, I went to a Catholic school, right? I went to a Catholic school because my gran, she looked after me, my grandpapa, and it was the closest one that they could get me into, which was literally just round the corner for them. And like Lynn, I'm very, very inquisitive, and I question everything, right? And I might like to push it to the bone, or well over the bone, or maybe saw the bone. But here's the thing that I've always questioned, right? Is you've got this book, it's the Bible. Obviously, I knew there was missing parts of the book anyway, right? But here's the thing, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, guys, and in the very most respectful way, but to me, it's just made up. And it's kind of like a question about God and humanity, and I know this sounds really silly in my head, but I think to myself, why make humans if you're just got to kill them at the end? It's just it's mind-boggling, and it's like aliens. Well, people have seen aliens, right? So I really can't use aliens as it's like a fallback on. but nobody. It's kind of like people see the aliens. I want to use aliens. Oh wait, no, people see aliens. Don't be silly, Lo. But people have never seen God. So how can you worship somebody that? And that, please don't think this is a dig at religion, because I'm a very open. I've got friends at all walks of life, who all have their own sets of beliefs, and I respect that. And in the deepest and respective, the most loving way that I can put this, how can we worship something we don't see? And that's not me having a dig at MD's religion. It really, really isn't. Like Lynn, I'm very inquisitive.
It's not a dig at religion, because what it is, and I got into an argument with someone who is religious, very, very religious, goes to church practically every other day, and they are Catholic, and they had a go at me for being a paranormal investigator. So I turned around and said, "What's the problem? There's no such thing as ghosts." And I just laughed at him, and I called him a hypocrite.
Yep.
And straight away, he went on the defensive. No, you shouldn't. Why are you doing that for? There's no such things as ghosts. So I turned around to him and said, "Right, go home, get your Bible out, read it from front to back, and then come back and tell me how many times in that book it states ghost, spirit, Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, or enlightened ones."
Yes.
And you tell me how many times that appears in the Bible, your Bible, and then tell me that there's no such thing as ghosts. I saw him 4 days. I saw him 4 days later, and he apologised.
Really? Wow.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Similar thing happened to me, Wayne, right? And it really shook me up. But I stood my ground. And I'm going back 10 years now, and we had a summer fair up here. And I'd done a car booty because I was getting rid of a lot of stuff. And they put me next to this tent. And in this tent was people from some church in the nearby town. And they were very nice, and they come over and said hello and everything. And later on, this old man came over, and he said that he never believed in the Bible, never believed in God, but he's found Jesus now with this church. I said, "Well, that's lovely." And he told me about his life and all this stuff. And he said, "And what's your thoughts on Jesus?" Oh, Jesus Christ. So I said, "Well, I do believe there was a guy called who was named Jesus, who lived on this, and this is what I think of him. This is what I thought he'd done." Well, I'm surprised they never stoned me on the field. It was horrendous what he came out with. 5 years later, I took a chap that I looked after. He was disabled, and I took him to his local church. And it was the same church, right? And that man was there looking at me. And he didn't know where to look. He realised that he'd made a mistake. You know what I mean? And it was very embarrassing for him, really. He embarrassed himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly go through the comments because they're building. Kate says the Pope might turn up to next. Tom says I would never wear anything to come.
He'll turn up at Nick's for his flu jab.
He probably would. Tom says I would never wear anything to promote something for myself, not even a hat. I don't believe you, Mr. Nelly. Hey, Bob.
See ya.
Emma says I think they did. Tom saying, "Hey, Bob." Hey, Tom. Joe saying, "I believe you, Tom." Not. Vaughn says, "I think we change a lot of history. Would have to be rewritten. Could you imagine people's reactions?" Totally agree, Wayne. Kate says, "But they don't die eternal life." Tom says, well, if it makes things any better, you've seen me, feel free to worship me.
I said something in the comments about that.
I have a very sarcastic comment, but I shall keep it to myself.
I commented.
Emma says that's true. Vaughn says, I've had that same discussion with my ex-husband who was a vicar. He wouldn't accept that there's such a thing as a paranormal, yet he prays to spirit every day and preaches to others. There that Nick Lee says, that's why I think you could be the next most interesting man in the world. You could be the
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Tom says, everyone's always finding Jesus. What is this? Where's Waldo? I don't know. He was lost. Oh my God. I don't know. He was lost. Was he hiding and we're just playing hide and seek?
I was going to say, surely, if everybody's finding Jesus, how come nobody else finds him? Surely, if everybody's starting to find him, it'd be obvious, wouldn't he?
Hey, you know what they still haven't found either is that they've still been searching, and this is, I mean, let's be honest, there is a show also out there too called Finding Bigfoot. They still haven't found him yet.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right, guys, and for the people in America who this may offend, strong viewers discretion advised. There's a guy in America who is hated because he challenges religion, and that guy is Bill Maher, and he's hated in America because he does challenge religion. Now, I find his documentary, love it, I hate it, people. I find his documentary really interesting, and it's a documentary called Religiously. And for people, Bill Maher did a documentary in America.
Yeah, my mom watches. My parents watch his show every Friday.
Yeah, I love him. I think he's great. Most people in America don't like him, but he challenges religion. So he goes about these places. Now, the one that always stands out to me is when he goes to this travelling church. I think it was in Texas, but I could be wrong. So he went to this travelling church, and he goes in and he stands up in front of them. And a guy gets really upset at the fact that Bill Maher's challenging about God, and he says to Bill Maher, I'm not listening to this, you're challenging my God, blah, 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 and he left. He said his piece and he left, right? So what Bill Maher says, right, is very, very true. Hate it or love it, what he says, it is true, because you see Jesus as a baby, right? You see Jesus as an adult. Where was he as a teenager? They never talk about his teenager years. Oh, no, let's don't talk about that, right? That's not what really got me. I never knew there was such things as this until, in strong viewers discretion advised. There was a guy who said he found God, but he used to be, say it without laughing, Lo, he used to be a Satanist priest who used to have sex with many women, and he was right into drugs, right? So strong viewers discretion advice, and they said, yeah, I found my God, blah blah blah. And I just didn't think you could get such things as Satanist priests. But there you go, folks, you learn something new every day. But my point is, I like the fact is, right, I can't say it for laughing because all I can think about is that scene. Because what Bill Maher says in the car was, and that which makes it even more funnier, was he turned around and he says, why would you give up that life? Why would you give up the drugs and the drinking, sleeping with the women? He says, I would do it. I would definitely sleep with her. It was so funny, guys. But my point is, he's went out and he's challenged everything. He's challenged why, like even, right, I know people don't like to talk about this. Tom, you're killing me tonight. I know people don't like to talk about this subject, right? But he even challenged a guy who was gay, and he's married to a woman who was gay too. And oh, bye Joe, thanks Joe.
Oh, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
Because he's got his show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he does.
So Bill Maher actually challenges this guy and says, well, does that not make you still have those feelings? And the guy's sitting there slandering and going, no, I was ashamed, blah, blah, blah. But what about your wife who was the exact same? And it really, guys, it is an interesting subject. And guys, Ben Winfield, Ben, I wished really you'd been here. How's the library chat gone? We've actually covered it all, Ben. But if there's any, in fact, Ben, are you free to come on? If not, I would really, really love your views in the chat, because obviously I know you've studied all this and you've been at the Vaticans, and if I'm right to believe, I'm sure you've been in the library. So Tom says, so dude, would smoke a joint, I have sex with you. Yeah, basically. Can do for a little bit. Right, Ben, I'll send you the link, just 2 seconds through. You'll get it through the other one. 2 seconds to send you the link, my friend. Because definitely, this is a great guy to have on. Just give me 2 wee secs, Ben.
The thing is, on the back of that, you have got a conspiracy theory that in the archives there is communication between Emperor Nero and Saint Paul regarding whether Jesus existed or not.
Oh,
wow.
And they reckon that the Vatican is hiding proof that Jesus Christ did not exist.
Ben, that's me sending you the link, love. So we'll get Ben on shortly. That actually does when you think about it.
I was reading about the Pope sent King Charles 2 pieces off the original cross, right? But other people have had it sent to them, shards off the cross. And that was for when he went for his coronation. But other people that's had stuff sent for whatever purpose, some of it's been tested and it's not old enough to be the cross.
No, it's like the Turin Shroud. They carbon dated and tested that, and they're saying it's very clever how it's been done, but it's not the cloth that wrapped Christ.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh wait a minute, Ben's here. Sorry, Ben, just coming. Everybody, welcome Ben Redfield. Hi, Ben. How you doing?
Just on what you're talking about, I just heard it just as it go. There is another conspiracy that I've been looking into recently, which is somewhat historical fact, but we're trying to find the little bits that are missing. Now, you said that Emperor Nero was in talks with St. Paul about whether Jesus was. I didn't get the last bit. What was it about Jesus?
It was the fact that Jesus did not exist.
I thought it might have been. That's why I've come straight on. So, if you take the historical fact, and I apologize to anyone that's Christian, I do not wish to offend you. The comments that are about to come out of my mouth are my own, so no one else has any offense.
It's all right. Some viewers have discretion's already advised, so you carry on, Ben.
Sweet. I do. With me, I tend to rip Christianity apart. But if you look at the way Jesus and that lot is portrayed through the Bible and the calendar month we go off. Sorry, I'm trying to piece this together quickly in my head so I can get the right information for you. The calendar that we go off is supposed to be the one from when Jesus was killed or born, either way. However, if you line the date of our calendar starting and align that with Julius Caesar, it suddenly lines up that they use Julius Caesar's story of him being born, dying, and all that, you can lay that onto the story of Jesus.
Oh.
It's a new one that's coming out because there's more evidence. That
Yeah,
randomly
I've
appearing.
said this on the Dark Mirror radio show. The timelines that are on just about every religion all add up roughly the same time. And there's little indiscrepancies within the timelines. And
Yeah.
like you say, Julius Caesar and Emperor Nero, they're sort of like a little bit out of a kilter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make much sense. So when you piece it together and try and link it together, they totally miss each other.
Yeah. The other thing as well is a new one that's been going, which is getting a hell of a lot more steam, which is brilliant, is Christianity obviously banging on about the Noah's Ark thing and that lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing's like, okay, I'm gonna
you, Ben.
blunt here. The whole Noah story, I don't care what anyone says to me, they fucking stole it from the Sumerians. They have Christianity is a mixture of stolen stuff from everywhere. I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but apart from
look at Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas in December was nothing to do with any of the Christian faith. It was a pagan festival, but the Christians decided we'll bring it in line and merged their festival with the pagan festival.
Yeah, they did the same with the Viking beliefs. When they turned around to turn Vikings into Christians, some of the Viking stories of the apocalypse end with the world being destroyed and there just being a tree, a man and a woman left. And they just turned around to Vikings and went, look,
Adam and Eve.
The Nordic stories,
Yeah.
all your religion's fine. It's already happened. Our religion started after your apocalypse. So they that's how they convinced massive amounts. Apart from Iceland, which I always need to get this joke in. I'm sorry. But there was a Christian missionary who sent a message to Iceland and said, you guys need to convert to Christianity or we're going to bring an army and all this bullcrap. Well, all the chieftains gathered round in Iceland and one of them stood up after a couple of hours of debating and said, why don't we just tell them we've converted? No one's going to be stupid enough to come out and check. And they did. No one ever went and checked. They just told them that we'd converted to Christianity and carried on as normal.
Oh wow, Ben.
Yes,
I'm glad that you're on my speak. It's good to see you. It's always a pleasure.
I am coming back. For those that have been messaging me recently, I am coming back. I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But guys, definitely check Ben out. He's very, very knowledgeable in the other dimension, guys. With him, Louisa, Kate, and Damon. Definitely just check them out, guys. So earlier on, I kind of touched on the library, right? And you did come into my head. And I don't know how much you can speak about, but I'm trying to find and find waters. Right, I'm not going to go in depth, just a wee bit to the surface. But what was your experiences like? I know you can't really say much. Yeah, I don't know how to word it, Ben.
Oh, I'll say what I say. I clearly say it as clear as it can be. It is literally just to get a book out. I needed a book for studying purposes, and I managed to sort it out with. It's basically it's not what you know, it's who you know kind of event. I ended up there, but it took me 6 years first to arrange to go and have this sorted.
Right.
You have to have background checks, all this sort of stuff before you even get close. And I say it was a few. I'm going to say this, and you're all going to laugh because this sums up the church completely. There was a few backhanders that managed to get me in certain departments to get in touch with certain people. But eventually, after a long story short, I got to go over. I went over to Rome, and when you walk into one of the libraries where they give you the book, I'm not kidding you, they check you for fucking everything. Every single bit you have on you. No phones, nothing. You can't take anything in whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Then what they do is they'll take you into another sub room. They hand you a pencil and an A4 piece of paper, blank A4 piece of paper. You are then led into the room. You sit down They bring you the book or manuscript or whatever you're after. They lay it in front of you, and I need just a bit of paper to show you. Yeah. So say that's the paper they lay in front of you. You are just after, say, the green box. Well, I won't say even the green box. I don't know if anyone can see this up close or not, but you see the word follow on there?
I could zoom in.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. See the word follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that. Say that's the word you want. Yeah. They will come in. Well, that's the phrase you're after, should I say? They will come in and they will do this. And I'm not kidding you. It is the biggest pain in the arse, because if you get a page and something's on the other side, you have to arrange another time to go in and look at that. But they will literally do that.
Oh, okay, hang on.
That's how they'll give it you.
They cover it up, cover the rest up.
So you can literally just see that
wow.
one word. They'll cover the rest of the entire book up and just give you that one word.
Wow.
Ben, see while you're here, just a quick question from a good friend here. John wants to know why they have made out Jesus as white when Jerusalem was all dark-skinned.
You see, that is one of the biggest things going with Christianity that always makes me laugh. He is white, blonde hair, and blue-eyed crap. Now, we all know in the Middle East, you don't get them sort of people. I can't remember. This is going back to my uni days, so I'm going to embarrass myself and really struggle.
He was albino.
I've not heard that answer before, but I'm keeping that. Basically, no one really knows what he looked like. They say they've got the Shroud of Turin, but come on.
That was carbon dated, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, they've pushed that one out the window straight away.
Yeah. Now, here's the more funny thing is, obviously, Jesus doesn't look like he is in his paintings. That, and this is where I'm going to be racking my brains. I'm going to have to put the answer up on your pages at some point. I've literally just walked in. The Jesus that we see in the paintings that light, actually the son, I can't remember if it's the son or the nephew of one of the popes.
It's the nephew.
That's the one. Yeah. Brilliant. You know what I'm on about, because my brain's just gone like
Yeah, I do.
Sorry, Ben, I'm trying to not put too much pressure on you, Ben. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to take it light with you.
Honestly, you're fine. It's just I've been up since 5:30. My brain's on a spiral of.
I do appreciate you coming on, Ben, because really, I know we've got you in September for the Friday show, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to quickly run in. So Vaughn says, "Hey Ben." Marshall says, "Hey Ben and Peeps, hey, welcome to the show."
We're out with Marshall tomorrow, guys. Just to plug that
in. Brilliant live, Hen. Thank you very much. I did try and do this one as well I could. Kate says, Ben, we've missed you so much. Yvonne says the same. She's missed you guys. But it's been a great show, guys. It really, really has been a great show. I think we've done it proud. I think. If I come to you, Ben, and say I'm cancelled, you know why? You know what shows shot me up the arse?
Well, they've not cancelled me yet from some of the shows we've done, and I've proper ripped Christianity to pieces.
Oh, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? And you, Wayne, as well. Jump in.
Okay.
Right. What about the fallen angels and the Nephilim?
Oh.
Well, that goes back to the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing is, and this is where I'm going to sound like a bit of a nut, but the evidence is there to anyone that wants to go actually look it up. Now, the Nephilim are described as these monsters from crossbreeds of an angel and a human, and they're supposed to be so foot high and all this lot. Now, if you go over to the Native American tribes, a certain tribe, and I can't remember the bloody name of it, said that they were at war with 9-foot red-haired giants.
Yes.
Passed off as a tale for ages, and then I'm literally going to say some guy here, sorry, because I can't remember the names, but there was a gentleman who found 9-foot skeletons in a cave that the Native Americans said, yeah, that's where they were living, that's where we killed them.
Mhm.
And so this evidence actually came to light that these are the stories. And the more you go through different cultures, the more you find these stories align. And these align more with Nephilim.
Yeah.
Now, you have obviously the Christianity and stuff like that, but once you step out of Christianity and look at all the other religions, the old ancient religions that are going, they're all there. All the evidence is there for stuff. And they're just, obviously, Christianity's done what it does best and pick fault with it. Yeah, I'm still under the belief that if Jesus was real, the way he says, he was teaching Buddhism, because that was massive at the time in the Middle East.
Yep. I have to agree on that one, definitely, without a doubt. Emma says, definitely I have. Sarah Louise says, totally enjoyed tonight. Thank you very much. Fawn says, it's been a great show, great discussion. Ben on his page is no hold back.
Sorry.
Will Damon be coming back too?
We don't know. We don't know what's happened to Damon. Sorry, this is my little boy.
Oh, there's the wee cutie. Right, so I'm going to say this, right? We're going to save the best to last. Wayne, come on, smack us with it. I've been dying to hear you.
Right. This will create a giggle, and it will sort of make you go, what? But apparently, and this is quite a well-known one, but the Vatican archives apparently contain the largest collection of pornography in the world.
Yeah.
And this was backed up by the National Review founder William Buckley Jr. and scholar Camilla Paglia.
Ben, is that why you went to Rome?
Oh no, I can do one better than that. Now,
Oh God, is this the one with?
I cannot mention names at all, but obviously I went over to Rome to study. I had people can already see where this is going. I had a cardinal with me who was overseeing me studying and that lot. And we are sat, and if anyone's ever been to Rome, you know where the Trevi Fountain is. There is, if you stood looking at the Trevi Fountain, just to your left, you'll see a church. I was in there studying with books, and it was about 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And this is God's honest truth. I can't swear enough for people to believe me on this one. I was sat there studying whilst this cardinal was racking coke on a Bible cover.
No.
Oh, jeez.
Honestly, God's honest truth, it was the most awkward position I've ever been in, knowing that just outside is one of the police stops where the coppers usually hang around.
Oh no.
And there's other people walking about, and this cardinal, I swear to God, I literally was just like that, sat just staring at the book that I'm reading, and he was just on a roll of just talking and talking and talking.
I just got a bizarre image in my head of someone watching this on a dodgy internet connection and hearing the Vatican having the largest collection of erotica in the world, and Ben saying about the position he was in.
I think I was safe at that time. I was a bit too old for him. Sorry.
Ben wasn't privy to that information. We'll have to let him off. We do apologise.
Aye, yes. Do you know what,
I'm so
guys?
sorry.
It's okay, because do you know what? My show went downhill for orgies, so pornographic. This is just whoosh.
Oh,
Don't worry, Ben. Honest to God, it's fine, lovey. Bev says hiya. Emma says, "Oh, he's gorgeous." Bonnie says that doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm going to go and hide again for the next couple of years.
Well, it's a good job. It's a good
I
job,
love
Lois.
you,
Your
really,
background. It's a good job, Lois, that your background's orange because we can't see the tint of red appearing on your cheeks.
Oh my face is scarlet. One says beautiful fur baby. Oh my god. Hey Adrian, Wolfpack Paranormal Investigations GTA. Go and check them out, guys. Vaughn says nail on the head, Ben. Beverly says trust you when everybody's laughing. Ben the legend, Kate says. And Adrian's been having Facebook issues. Oh, it's okay, love. It's all right.
He was the person that heard it. See, I told you.
By the way, see what's making this worse? See, because there's a red background, my face is dead obvious that I'm blushing. My face is red on
Well,
there.
that's the radiance. That's the radiance from your face beaming onto the wall behind you.
I think I'm going back into retirement after that comment.
No. Listen, babe. I can come out with a few crackers, so don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine, honey.
Don't worry about it, Ben. It makes great content.
It does. It does. And everybody's laughing. So
Humour. I've got really dark sense of humour.
do you know? Adrian says, "What? Low blushing? Never. You should see. You should feel my face. I'm hotter than the sun." Vaughn says, "Don't you dare, Ben." That's what I say. Don't you dare. But guys, it's really been a good show. Tomorrow night we're talking about ley lines and UFOs. The other dimension, I'm sure, is on at the same time. What is it you're speaking about tomorrow night, Ben?
We're not on at the moment because obviously I'm currently dealing with a lot of mental health issues at the minute. I recently lost.
Oh, Ben.
No, I've got no problem at all. I recently lost my grandma, and me and my grandma were solid. And I'm 34, so she's been there my entire life, and yeah, it's kind of hit me really bad. So,
do you want to know something, Ben? Right, and I'll disclose. I lost my gran in December there, and I am the very same. And I might come on here and look like I'm all joking or smiling, or sometimes, and I'll be really, really honest, guys, where I can't do face in my show sometimes. But I break it because I know my gran's sitting there saying to myself, get on. And like yourself, I have created a whole new sense of dark humour. I mean, this shows my sense of humour, guys, right? And please feel free to laugh because I can laugh about it. When my gran was dying, my way of dealing with it, and I don't even think I realised I'd done it till I'd done it. But my sister was going on about something in Downtown Abbey. That was my gran's favourite programme, absolutely favourite programme. She loved Downtown Abbey. So she was going on about this person dying in Downtown Abbey, and I don't know what overcame me. And I just and I says, and it wasn't taking out my mouth. I went, "Oh, whoa." And she says, "Aye, this person is dying, blah, blah, blah." And I went, "Well, so's my granny." And it just came out my mouth, and it was that way. Oh my God, Lo. And even when I tell a story about when my gran did die, and at Christmas, I'd bought my father this iron. He wanted this iron, and I bought him it. And at Christmas, well, it was Christmas Eve. No, Christmas Day, sorry, tell a lie. And he said he didn't like it, didn't want it. And usually I would give him a reaction, but I didn't give him a reaction. I just put it up and put it next to me. And I was watching Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. And then I lost my gran on the 28th of December. And then we went to Tesco's. And to obviously take the iron back, me and my partner, and gets up to the desk. And the guy says, what was wrong with the iron? And honestly, guys, this was my response. And I went, my father's just an ungrateful fucking bastard. Those are my words that came out of my mouth, and it was a reaction. The guy was so gobsmacked. Aye. Too many.
I think she froze. Oh wait. Oh, she.
No, she's muted.
I hear. So, and it's like, right? But that was my reaction. It was just how it came out of my mouth. And it was that thing with, but you will find, I do still have my good days and my bad days, but always know I'm here. So just totally send me a message and that. I get it. Honestly, dates one of the hardest things.
Yeah, we all go through dark periods. We all get out of them.
Aye, obviously.
I've got my little guard dog to watch over me. He's sat right here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Everyone that knows the show will know his bloody little face.
Aye. Oh, bless.
Yep.
Kate says Pop's changed his destination midway, heading for Ben's now. Lals, no Nick. AJ says condolences, Ben. Sarah Louise said so sorry, Ben. Ford says bless you, Ben, and Lois. Kate says huge condolences, Ben. Emma says big hugs. Lois, Adrian says, Lo, you're a hell of a strong woman, hun. One of the many things I admire about you. Listen, sometimes it's the only option. That is really the only option. And Emma says, yes, we do. But it's what it is. It's thing, man. Do you know what, Ben? I admire you, and you will get there.
God knows why you admire me. I'm just a psychotic lunatic that tells everyone that demons. I go round shaming demonologists.
Oh, Marshall says, see you tomorrow evening, Ben, for some ghosty shenanigans.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, so tomorrow, that's Friday. Nick, what's happening in Supernatural Talk in a good couple hours?
I think we might be bringing Jan on because they were actually messaging me during the chat. I guess we're going to talk about two things. Now, one of them we can't really talk too much about, and you'll understand the reason why. We wanted to cover the meteor that exploded over New York City this week, but also, and again, it's not that we're not going to talk too much about. It's the other thing, and that's undoubtedly the attempted assassination that just happened a few days ago with Trump.
Right,
I'm going to go, guys, anyway. Sorry.
Bye, Ben.
Good night, guys.
Bye, Ben. Bye, love. Bye, sweet. Thank you.
We're not trying to be on the political side, but just talking about that, something like that, definitely, even if you don't like that, whether you like that person or not, that is not acceptable.
Well, believe it or not, there has also been conspiracy theories started about that already. So
yep. Oh yeah. And we're not going to talk about it for too long because obviously people have different views on that. So we're just going to kind of make short talk of it, and then we'll probably be talking about something else.
Do you know what, guys? I'm only going to say one thing and one thing only. That I'm not keen on the man, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's right what's happened, because it ain't right. That guy could have been killed. And at the end of the day, you know, it's a very, it takes a lot. And
he got someone standing behind Donald Trump, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
And then you've got to think of the people that were affected. Obviously, the person that died.
I don't know if you guys have seen. There's actually been a diagram that's been shown, like of a skull and brain, basically.
Yeah.
Like using this pencil.
Stephen was watching that.
Yeah, they show like where he was hit, but had he turned his head a little bit to the right, it would have went right through his skull, penetrated his brain. He would have died instantly. He would have been brain dead.
Yep. Yeah. The thing about it is also you've got to do, obviously. Hi, Chantel. Well, since Chantel's here, I might as well go for a further. I might as well push it to the edge. But it's like I'll push it to the edge. I can't get out my head about Wayne's theory, and I'm trying to concentrate, but it's like I just so many questions to why, but I'm just not even. So yeah, the whole thing about obviously Donald Trump, obviously, it's that guy that protected his daughter. That was my point. The guy that protected his daughter. I mean, my condolences to my condolences to the family, because fair play to that man. He saved his child. He was saving.
Wife. He protected both of
them. But
thing is, though, don't you find it funny that there's not as in Donald Trump being assassinated, but don't you find it how weird and how funny it is that Donald Trump gets or an attempt on Donald Trump's life, right? And within a week of that happening, or less than a week of that happening, Biden all of a sudden gets COVID.
I know, it's kind of a weird scenario. I don't really know how else to really describe it, honestly.
It's a bit strange, isn't it?
It really is.
How there's an assassination attempt made on Donald Trump. The conspiracy theorists are starting to say that was all set up because the sniper was watching him for 3 minutes before they got given the right to take shot. People were screaming out to the police and the Secret Service that there was a sniper up on the roof and it wasn't one of theirs, and nobody did anything about it. And now all of a sudden, Biden's got COVID.
I thought that way.
Yep.
I thought the same thing. I've got things going through my head, and I'm scared to say, you know.
Yeah.
See, it's I don't know how to really, like I said, describe myself, but it just kind of makes you wonder, like, what's going to be next?
Yep. Well, what we've got Emma says nothing wrong with that. Ben, bye Ben, love to Louise. Hey Shant, I'm going back the way. Emma says I love watching the Trump through COVID, lol. Chantel says, hee, my presence makes saying the appropriate things all right, because if you don't, I probably will. You carry on.
Earlier, Chantel.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I've learned enough about the Vatican tonight, and I'm thinking to myself, honest to God, we're talking alien spaceships, orgies, and new pornography.
Okay, right. Well, we'll get off the pornographic stuff. And did you know it's also home for a time machine?
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently it is believed to have been built by an Italian scientist and priest, Father Pellegrino Maria Anetti. The chronovisor is a device that apparently allows people to view the future and the past. And although there is no record of such a device, some people believe it is hidden somewhere in the archives.
How do you spell coronavisor?
Chrono, as in time, and then visor. So CHRONOVISOR.
That's what I kind of figured was going to be spelled out that way.
Because chrono means time.
Right, okay.
And the visor means vision.
Right.
So it's time vision. There you go.
Vaughn says it was a horrendous situation. I don't believe Biden had to pay that young shooter. What would that young man get into that situation knowing he was going to get killed?
For God's
It's-
sakes,
If him and his family got paid enough money, they'd do anything. He weren't even old enough to drink.
yeah, I was going to say,
No.
the poor guy this poor kid was only 20 years old.
Yeah. He also said
Mm.
that he was part of Biden's crew, but he wasn't because he was part of Trump's. He was in this party.
He was supposed to be a
don't know.
Republican.
I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't really hear too much details about him. Although the one thing that did bother me about him was because my mom sent me a picture when they finally revealed what he looked like, and he actually looked like a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine that I knew. He kind of
I'm so sorry.
had a rather similar appearance to him, like. But this friend of mine I'm talking about, like he had an appearance like when we were younger, and that kind of bothered me seeing something like that. Obviously,
I mean, guys, we've really done this show proud, and I think obviously it's. I heard a prediction long ago that Biden will die in July. It's July and now he's sick, right? Just saying, as a side note, Chantel.
well, and you know it's kind of weird. I kind of shared that same thing. Again, I don't want to go too far into it, but I just will say this: that was actually something I was just talking about with my parents a few days ago, especially when a lot of people were telling him that he should step aside, not necessarily because of that he can't do it, but his health. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been asking the real question is he even going to still be alive in a few months?
Yeah, he did say a while back that there was going to be only one situation where he would pull out of the presidential race, and that would be his health.
Yeah.
Now this.
Just,
So, you know, is that going to happen? And
yeah,
if it does, you know,
I just think he's just too old for the job. I mean, it's especially now with COVID and whatnot, it's starting to get pretty risky. So, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say basically.
All right. Well, guys, I am going to shut this down. So tomorrow, guys, join us for Ley Lines and UFOs. Go and look at Supernatural Talks in a few hours on Things Network. Wayne, what's up next?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. There was one more thing. I was talking with someone else who's viewed some of our shows. It's actually do you guys remember PAD? I don't know his actual name. He just goes by. He's the investigator from Italy who's watched a few of our shows.
Oh yeah.
I was messaging to check to see how he had been doing. His health is not doing so well. So he's just starting treatment. So obviously, I know he's not watching, but I'll still say it anyway. You know, PAD, you know, obviously our thoughts, prayers, and healing go for you. And hopefully, after what you've been going through, hopefully you'll be able to make a recovery soon. So our hearts go out to him.
Definitely, without a shadow of doubt. I'm thinking of you, my darling. Definitely. So it's a sad, and I really, really hope he gets well soon. Get well soon, honey. And come anytime, definitely. You'll always be welcomed with open arms. Definitely in the show. Castle Seeding.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Wayne next. Yeah.
Aye. What's happening in Castle Seeding with Spook and Laurie and that show you do on a Monday with the Dark Mirror Boys?
That show you do on a Monday.
Sorry, Mark would kick my ass if he heard me saying that. I do apologise. The show you do with that his name, Mark Manley. That lovely Mark Manley. How is he?
Mark's fine. He's okay. He's now back home again and getting things back to normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be seeing him in a couple of weeks' time anyway. But Castle Spookanori is doing all right at the moment. I just recently completed the approach to the Castle Spookanori. with the logo,
Ooh.
has taken the locals by storm. They all love it, and they enjoy walking past and seeing it. And they said, well, anything else you got planned for it? And I said, well, you have to come by in the evening to see what else I've done. And then when they come back past in the evening, they see that the lights have been turned on underneath it, and it all glows up blue.
Wow.
So it's been quite a bit of a sort of almost like a tourist attraction. So it's quite bizarre, the amount of people that come past and they look at it and they stand there for ages, and I can't resist it, so I have to go out there and I'll pretend to go and get something from the car, and I go, oh, that's brilliant, that's really cool. And I had one person, blatantly obvious what it was, and like everybody's gone, oh, that's pretty spooky, are you doing that for Halloween? I went, no, that's a permanent fixture. And I had one person turn around to me and went, what is it? I know it's the shape of something, but what is it? And I went, have you heard of a ghost? And he went, oh yeah.
PAD speedy recovery.
Sorry?
Vaughn says
Oh,
PAD speedy recovery. Emma says bye all. Sarah Louise says good night. It's like the mountains in here tonight.
but yeah, not much going on at Castle Spookinary at the moment apart from DIY. So my little life things on a Sunday night they've gone down the pan because I've got a 50th birthday celebration coming up, and I want to make sure my garden is ready. So I'm getting the garden sorted and getting a second-hand pagoda, which I've got to clean up and then install. So I'm just making sure everything's all ready for that. But we're still here on a Monday night on the Things Network and Simply Spooky Network in regards to the Dark Mirror radio show, UFOs, aliens, conspiracy theories, etc., etc.
Yeah. Definitely, guys, check them out. I absolutely adore the boys. They're brilliant. They are brilliant. Do check them out on a Monday night. They are on Simply Spooky. They're on Things Network. Where else are you guys? On
YouTube,
the Dark Mirror
TikTok,
page, YouTube.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, guys. Please go and check them out. Definitely.
Yeah. But I've just been so flat out with doing other stuff. I haven't had a chance to do my normal stuff. This week I've been working with Fred Batt, getting a location for an event that we're going to host. So I've got a bit of feedback from the location. It's all looking promising. So people have to keep their eyes peeled.
Yes.
Yay. So we're finishing on a high note, guys, because Joe is just starting. But yeah, guys, everyone take care. See you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on the button. See you later, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.